Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on a beautiful Monday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. We are at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, and I'm told today during the first probably 45 minutes to an hour, we will be on by podcast only. So kind of beware of that as we get this show on the road. Kelly Holcomb is alongside from Murfreesboro. Kelly, how are you?
I'm great, George. How you doing?
I'm good.
You're looking a little holiday-ish today.
Yeah, I decided to put a little last-minute toy store into it. You know, what the heck? Let's put it out there for a minute. 4 weeks from today will be the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. Parker, if you will, put up our new little hold on a second.
Pretty small. I didn't realize
can we not
that
get
small.
rid of us and put that up?
I'm trying to. My 4th hour of radio today. And that's good news for Kelly because he gets to hear my voice for another 2 hours. And I know he's very excited about that.
Oh, hold on. What I went out on y'all. I don't know if y'all went out on me, but what are we talking about, Parker?
I'm just telling George how much you enjoy hearing my voice on a daily basis. That's all.
Parker, you'd be comforted to know that until right now, I never thought about you all weekend, so you're good.
Okay, let's get to the business at hand. Whether we're on radio or not, we begin each day during football season with Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. He, of course, Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com, and he joins us by phone. Terry, how are you?
Doing well, George. How are you?
Good. Shall we begin with the injury report?
Yes, absolutely. Titans actually came out of the game with no new injuries to speak of as they head into the bye week. So really, the big focus injury-wise is going to be getting the guys who've missed time healthy enough to come back after the bye. That would include 5 guys who were out Sunday and announced prior to the game, all out with injuries: Jeffrey Simmons, Calvin Ridley, Arden Key, Xavier Woods, and Bryce Oliver. So all those guys, I think they probably would hope that they have a chance to get them back. That is, provided they're all still on the roster after the trade deadline.
Which, as you have brought up before, is a shaky proposition.
Yes, no doubt, because there are a number of players that are probably being shopped as we speak.
Today's injury report, which was a little skimpy because they stayed pretty healthy, is brought to you by the folks at the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, and Chronic Pain Relief. Dial them up at 615-882-4838. We welcome them as a new sponsor of the George Plaster Show.
Are you tired of living with back pain? What would you do if the pain was gone?
At the Dr. Gill Center, we've helped thousands of people over the last 30 years break free from pain and get back to living life. We're committed to your outcomes, and our caring team listens, understands, and offers real solutions to neuropathy, back pain, and joint pain without unnecessary surgery or medication. Choose the clinic that listens. Choose the clinic that cares. Call the Dr. Gill Center today at 615-882-4838.
Let's make your pain-free life a reality.
Okay, Terry, one way to do that is to not watch the Titans offense. A real struggle yesterday, in spite of the fact that they got some other things to actually happen.
Yeah, they got a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown. First punt return in nearly 13 years, George, for a touchdown by Chimere DK. First one since Darius Renaud against Jacksonville in 2012, December of that year, when he had two in the same game. So, but the offense did struggle big time once again. And, some of it is personnel, some of it is a rookie quarterback. But, I'm starting to, let me just say this, and Kelly might differ from me here because I know all rookie quarterbacks struggle. But with a number one overall pick, and I said this on my podcast this morning, the Tennessee Pro Football Podcast, check it out. We actually had Paul Kaharski on as a guest this morning. But anyway, back to Cam Ward. To me, he's not progressing as quickly as I expected that he would. I think he's a little bit more unpolished than your typical number one pick. That's not to say he can't succeed, but it certainly is taking longer to see signs of it than I thought it would.
Okay, just do this for me. Hold on to whatever your thoughts are, because later, when I get Kelly in for Titans analysis, that's exactly what I'm going to ask him. How about that?
That sounds good, George.
Okay. Terry, appreciate it as always. We will talk again tomorrow.
All right.
That's Terry McCormick, Daily Titans Update here on the show. He, of course, Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com.
Time for America's favorite segment, sponsored by our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Join us out at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall this Thursday night as the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. I won't bury the lead here. We all know that the Dodgers have won their second World Series in a row after winning on Saturday night 5-4 in 11 innings over the Toronto Blue Jays. They're having their parade celebration thing now.
They should. Man, they escaped with their lives. I feel bad for the people in Toronto, but it kind of looked like, Kelly, the Dodgers knew how to win, and the Blue Jays maybe not quite so much.
Well, you don't want to say this, but it's the Dodgers who won it last year, but they expect to win, and it seems like when it got down to the nitty-gritty time of the game, the Blue Jays were hoping to win. You've got to go out and win that thing, and you can't sit here and wait on the other team to make a mistake, because they're world champions and they're going to figure out a way. And that's exactly what that was the most amazing thing the other night. And one of the most amazing things is Dave Roberts put the Rojas guy in at second base just on a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like, he made the biggest play of the game, and then he tied the game. That's just unbelievable. I don't understand that. Some guys got it managing, and he's got it. It was unbelievable, guys.
It is one of the best World Series, just as far as if you weren't rooting for one team or the other. Just terrific excitement. It's one of the best World Series of my lifetime.
And you know what? Danny Evans texted us. Do you remember what he texted us? He said, a guy that's going to win this thing, give me Will Smith.
Oh, wow.
And my joy, I'm like, good gracious, he did it. I'm like, this dude is prophetic in what he talks about.
Danny knows his stuff, period.
Wow.
Will Danny be on this Thursday or no?
He will be.
Okay.
We'll kind of have a goodbye until, I don't know, late March, whatever.
I'm going to miss Danny.
Yeah.
He was fun. Lots of notable injuries yesterday in the NFL, but probably the most notable, Jaden Daniels dislocated his left elbow late in the game yesterday versus Seattle. And if you were watching, I mean, the Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico, they knew right away what had happened, and it was tough to watch.
Dan Quinn has caught hell for this because at 38-7, I don't know what he was trying to prove. By the way, is it possible that today, Seattle's the best team in the NFL.
Oh, I mean, there's an argument for that, George. Good gracious. They are rolling over people. And Sam Darnold, everybody talked about him being a bust. He was with the New York Jets. Then he goes all over the place. And to see what he and Baker Mayfield have done, resurrecting their careers, I'm happy for him because I understand how hard that is. And I watched him play when he was at USC, and I thought he was a turnover guy. But, man, he's learned to play the game. He's matured, and he's in the right situation. He got in the right situation last year for Minnesota. Now he's got a team that made him the guy and believes in him. Unbelievable what they're doing.
I will reserve judgment because at the end of last season, when the pressure got ramped up, he pooped the bed.
A little bit, but I mean, that's, it's just like I tell people all the time, and I've told you on this, when you're first time leading the Masters and you go to sleep on a Saturday night.
You don't sleep.
And you don't sleep. And how are you going to react to that Sunday pressure? And sometimes you have to experience that for the first time, and he's done it. So maybe once he gets in that situation again, he'll be different.
The Philadelphia Eagles are just another case of the rich just getting richer as they landed Miami Dolphins edge rusher Jalen Phillips for a third-round pick. This is their third trade in the last week.
Which is going to lead us to a second topic with Kelly, and that involves Jeffrey. And should they be really thinking about moving Jeffrey under the you can finish dead last with him, or you can finish dead last without him?
If you're getting a third-round pick for Jalen Phillips, I can imagine you can get a a late first for Jeffrey.
That's
you
tough,
don't think
man.
you can get a first for Jeffrey Simmons?
Man, I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping for the Titans they can. But when you start trading guys instead of trading picks is where you get first round picks. When you start trading guys, sometimes that's hard. But he may command that. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. But I guess we could talk about it. Tennessee Tech is ranked 5th in the latest FCS AP poll, their highest ranking ever.
So the closest thing that I have to a nephew, Timothy Koutras, is a 2-time and will soon be a 3-time All-OVC defensive back. They played Gardner-Webb Saturday, and that's the largest crowd. I got a chance to see some footage of what the crowd looked like, and that's the largest crowd that I've seen at Tech since Timothy has been there. Good for them. They appear to be the best bet of some school near here to make a deep run in the playoffs. They play Kentucky, as Tony from Nolensville brought up. They play Kentucky in a couple of weeks. That might be interesting.
Can Tennessee Tech pull that one out? I don't know.
No way to know till they play.
Yeah, that's tough when you go up to division like that. But, hey, they got a young quarterback. The coach talked about it when we brought him on a show. He's a pretty good player.
So, question out of the chat room: has George ever called games at Tennessee Tech? I've called some basketball games there. I've called some basketball games there years ago. The OVC had a Monday night game of the week, and so I guess the answer is yes.
He's called games at Memphis, Kelly. I don't know if he's told you.
I think all of you are trying to be smart asses.
Yeah, I know. Georgia Tech and just
including
wherever, man.
Brent.
It's just it's unbelievable. Vanderbilt. I mean, just name it. George has been there.
And he's contributing to Haynes King's NIL fund. And
I will say this: every radio station in Nashville knows him. That's for sure.
Well said.
There's a reason I saved this one for very last, but it's one of the best times of the year. College basketball is back tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say, George?
No.
Is yeah?
No, it's too early.
Doesn't mean it's still, I mean, Texas and Duke play tomorrow night.
Oh, I get it. They're good games, but doesn't it sort of get lost in the shuffle
of football season?
Yeah, and why do you want it to get lost in the shuffle?
I don't. And the hard part about it is now that the playoff is expanded, people don't start really paying attention until February.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because there's some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Vandy and Lipscomb play tonight at Memorial Gym. Belmont plays Air Force. Tennessee plays tonight.
Mercer on.
That's what I thought.
At 6 on SEC Network Plus.
Okay, we done?
We're done.
We're done. After the break, we will have riveting Titans analysis.
Award-winning,
yes.
Some might say.
Well, no one has said that. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
At Wilson Bank & Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank & Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Back we are on this Monday afternoon, which is a beautiful one from the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. It is time for our weekly Titans analysis, where I try to come up with 3 positives and 3 negatives about what went on yesterday. So let's put the old graphic up there. That's not it.
That is the wrong one.
Yes, it is.
That's on me. I'll get it.
Hold on. That's a fine for you. It is on you, and it's a fine for you as well.
Kelly, the second you take me out for a steak dinner, I will pay you all those fines.
Don't hold your breath.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and put a few thoughts out there, even though you're not seeing the graphic just yet. The first positive, oh my God, they had a pass rush.
Wow.
When was the last time the Titans put heat on a quarterback. It was kind of nice. They had a bunch of sacks in that game.
Did they end up having 6, George? Was it 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you're absolutely right, man. They got some of the guys that are out. Obviously, Jeffrey Simmons is out, and Arden Key is out. That's what when you have guys out that are starters and you get the opportunity to see other guys come in and see guys play, that gives them an opportunity. But yesterday, everything is all about matchups, but I thought they did a good job of pushing the pocket and making Justin Herbert do some things, which I don't think he did. He threw an interception for a touch, for a defensive score. And that's what you have to do. When you're playing quarterback, if I look out there and the DBs are off and I know I got an easy throw and I get blitzed, I'm going to get rid of the football. But when you can make a quarterback think a little bit and have to hold it just a little bit, and probably a lot of that was there was good coverage down the field. Now there was some really bad coverages that I saw. But when you can make that quarterback hold the ball for a split second, it gives those guys up front just another second to get there. And I thought that was a positive. I'm glad you put that as a positive, because when you could get 6 sacks in a National Football League game, you're doing something right that day.
Yeah. Now, who knows how much of that is San Diego? God, I call them San Diego. The LA Chargers offensive line woes, and they've got some right now with injury.
They do. Yep.
Nonetheless, it was nice to see that happen. Here's what else was nice. Chim DK starting to look like a keeper.
I think Chim DK's
works.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think Chim DK is a pretty good player. I think Ayomanor is going to be pretty good too. I think they may have hit on both of those guys, and we saw Chim DK earlier, obviously in the year, didn't get as much playing time, but that's just what I talked about. When you get guys go down, other guys have to step up, and obviously he was a draft pick, but the guy's got speed. He's one of those yak guys that gets yards after catch. He can catch the ball. And it's amazing to a coach, and it's certainly awesome for a coach when you draft a guy and you think he is what he is, and then he turns out to be, yes, this guy is who we thought he was. And I think Chim DK is kind of the guy right now who is looking out of that draft class pretty good.
So Cody Barton's interception that he ran back the 22 yards for the touchdown, that sort of set in motion that this was going to be a little more competitive than it has been in recent weeks. Good for Cody Barton. Good for the Titans to at least have a moment or two in the sun. Now to the negatives. We all know they didn't do squat in third down. 1 of 9. Simply got not good enough. You look at Buffalo yesterday. My golly. How many in a row did Josh Allen convert in beating Kansas City? 1 out of 9 ain't going to do it. Negative number 2, I'm going to ask this. In a league where now everybody that uses the tush push seems to make it work, nobody more than Philly, you get down 4th and an inch on the goal line. Look, I hate the tush push. I want it out of football. But as long as it's legal, why the hell aren't they using it?
At least try it, right, George?
Yeah.
I don't even think they have the horses to do so.
That's kind of what I was thinking when George was talking about that. I'm not sure that you have the O-line of the Philadelphia Eagles or some bigger O-lines. That's kind of where their woes start, George, up front. And I'm not
behind him.
I like it. Hey, I'm with you, man. At least try it. I mean, it seems like Mike McCoy don't want to try things, and you've only won one game for a reason. Why not try something different?
And of course, the penalties that continue to rear their ugly head in the first quarter, when they actually had some good things starting to happen. Every time you wanted to get really excited, holding 78 offense, still first down. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the important issue, Kelly, because I think more and more people are starting to ask the question. The question being, Cam Ward is dealing with a complete lack of talent. We all know that. We all know he's fighting through a lot of demons, some of which are of his own making, some of which are not. Are you starting to be concerned about him at all?
I'm going to stand by my no. I am not. I think that I said it last week or a couple of weeks ago, where when you're in the National Football League and you have open receivers, you have to hit them. He had one right over the middle. I forget who it was. I don't know. Yeah, it was right
Van
over the middle,
Jefferson.
and then
The one
it
that he
was Van
bounced to him?
Jefferson. Yep, absolutely right. That's something that he got. He kind of bought himself a little bit of time. And it looked like he tried to throw the ball over the top and it went right into the dirt, because obviously that's not his throwing motion. He doesn't feel good about doing that. But that's one of those plays in the National Football League when you get an opportunity like that you have to make that throw. And right now he's not making those throws. And there's a lot of things. I've told y'all this before, George. There's a lot of things that go into all that. I know that he's probably seeing a little bit of ghosts right now because he understands that his O-line is not very good. And even if they got 4 guys rushing, he don't have that much time. And that goes into it. He is a rookie. We told you he was going to have some struggles, but you have to make those kind of plays. You have to make those kind of throws. He's still holding on to the ball a little too long sometimes. That was one of my strengths. I read the defense. I watched a lot of film. Everybody, you have to watch a lot of film, but you have to know what the defense. Now, sometimes you're going to get fooled, but for the most part, I used to tell people way over 90% of the time, I knew exactly where I was going unless they fooled me after the snap. But I knew exactly where I was going or what side I was going to work. And then you can get rid of the ball. You can go through the situational stuff in your head or through the week. And sometimes the defense is going to give you something that you hadn't seen, and they're going to fool you sometimes. But for the most part, you know where you're going with the football. And I think that's what he's got to get better at. I'm not in the meetings. I say that every week. I'm not in the meetings, so I don't know what they're calling, but it seems like they could help him a little bit with getting the ball out of his hands. But then when you're 1 of 9 on third downs and you're having to hold the ball because you're 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, that's not a recipe for success. They're last in the league in third down conversions. So they're just not doing good. They're just not doing anything right. When you talk about the negatives and the positives, hey, I talked about it, and I said it when you called me earlier, George. But all the things that Jim Moore taught us about, the keys to winning a game, and I've always said that if you get a defensive touchdown, you go way up in the percentages of winning the game. If you get a special teams touchdown, for your percentage of winning, they got both of those yesterday, and that just shows you how bad of a football team they are right now, because they got 2 gifted touchdowns, yet they still cannot win the game. And that's when you're at that point, George, you're not very good.
Okay, let me try this for both of you, because the world doesn't give 2 you-know-whats what I think when it comes to quarterback play. Parker, you played on the college level. Kelly, you played on both the college and the pro level. My quarterback play ended in 5th grade very simply because I didn't want to get hit. So I got rid of the ball quicker than anybody, because if you've got the ball, I'm not going to get hit. So now I want to get serious for a second with both of you. What is it that you would see that would start you to go, oh, I am concerned? What would that be?
Oh, wow,
That's
George,
a
that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
That's a really good question, George. I just think here's the deal. I don't think, Cam, when you get into the NFL, there's a fine line of being really confident and not being confident at all. You have to be kind of even keel. And I think that watching the game, I think Cam Ward is I think he's a positive guy. I think he's very confident in his abilities. And I have not seen that wane. I really don't. I just think he's going through a time right now and it's frustrating for him. It would be frustrating for me because he's won at every level he's been. We talked about it. He's won the high school.
Hold on, Kelly. You say that, but the truth of it is they didn't do any big winning at Washington State. I don't really know what they did.
Yeah, but you
incarnate
understand
word.
that and you talked about him, and no, you're right about that. But like, I would worry about if he's starting to wane in his confidence right now, and
Right,
I don't
and
think
that's
he's
not
starting to
happening.
do that. That's not happening. I just think that he understands, and whoever's talking to him, he might have a sports psychologist. I'm sure Mike McCoy, I'm sure some of the people on the staff, the offensive coordinator, are talking to him. But there's growing pains that you have to go through, and I just like if I saw him like totally not play, like he's still completing balls. He needs to complete more of them. He needs to get the ball out of his hand, but I think his confidence is still there. That's the thing that I would be like, oh boy, he's starting to lose his confidence, because me as a quarterback playing as long as I did, and I've told you this before, George, you can tell when a guy loses his confidence. Cam Ward has not done that. I think he's going about it the right way. He's just got to get pieces around him, and it's not going to come this year. And I don't think yesterday, I've seen him in some of these games where he's starting to try a little too hard and starting to put the ball in places that he don't need to. I think yesterday he didn't do that. I think you've got to let the game come to you, and you can't put the ball. Now there's certain situations in a game when you're trying to go get a win. You've got to throw the ball sometimes in places you wouldn't normally throw that. But I just think that if I see him lose his confidence, that would really concern me, because the way he is right now, and if you lose your confidence where he is, I'm not sure you could get it back. So that's kind of what I would look for. And you can tell that in a player how he's pressing. I don't think Cam Ward's at that point yet.
Bouncing off of that point, Will Levis lost his confidence. And
Yes.
I wasn't confident in Will Levis to begin with, but he lost his confidence, and that's how I knew for a fact he wasn't going to be the guy anymore. With Cam Ward, going off of Kelly's point, I think I would start to get worried about him if they started surrounding him with more pieces and he still was performing the way he is now. I think because I'm going to be super patient with Cam Ward. I've watched him. I believe in him. I believe in the talent. I believe he's going to be the guy, but he doesn't have the people around him, nor does he have the coaching to do so.
So you're saying that this is going to take well into next year before we can really have much of an evaluation on him, because, let's face it, it's not going to get any better this year.
No.
Now, his performance he may get the ball out of his hands quicker and all that kind of stuff. But in the winning and losing, it's not like they're suddenly going to rip off a 5-game winning streak and everything's fine.
The worst thing to happen for Cam Ward's development was C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels, because they started popping off right away in the NFL, and people expect that from Cam Ward, and it's not apples to oranges comparison. Look at Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, who in their third and fourth teams are finally starting to show that they're franchise MVP caliber players, and Cam Ward's in his rookie year with the Titans.
And George, you have to be, and this is what the world doesn't want anymore. You have to be patient. Quarterbacking is different. And Steve McNair they were able to be patient with him. I mean, he got to sit. I know that that's not what it's like now. If you're the first pick, they want to throw you in there. But like, you have to be willing to go through some of this stuff, and he has to be mentally tough enough, because it's going to get worse, because they're going to keep losing, and everybody's going to say, well, Cam Ward's not the guy. Well, he can battle through that and not lose his confidence. I really think in the end it's going to pay off for the Titans. I think it's going to pay off for him. But the world that surrounds us says that we have no patience. It's instant coffee. Everybody wants their instant coffee now. They want their player to be good now, but football and quarterbacking does not happen that way sometimes, George.
They clearly have not fixed their offensive line issues. Are you all surprised that it looks this bad?
I truly am, man. I'm not going to say too much about this, but I truly am. I thought they had, I know the Moore guy was at Pittsburgh and he gave up the most sacks last year, but, you start to worry about J.C. Latham a little bit. I don't know. I thought they were going to be more messed a little bit this year, and I thought they would be better. I think it's a little bit better, but I don't think you can see it. I really don't. And when you're playing in the National Football League, you're playing against these guys that can rush the passer. You have to have some steady guys at the edge. You have to have guys in the middle that can keep guys off the quarterback, or you have to keep guys in. And I've told y'all this 1,000 times, but Tom Moore was not going to allow us to get hit. But I thought that they would be better than they are, and they're just not.
They're not even close.
Yeah,
No.
and I remember having conversations with people. I thought it would take at least 4 or 5 games for the group to really gel because you go all across the board from left tackle to right tackle, and they had never played next to each other. And J.C. Latham's flipping over from left tackle to right tackle. You bring in Kevin Zeitler, Lloyd Cushenberry's coming back from injury. You bring in Dan Moore from Pittsburgh. I'm most surprised at the way Zeitler's played. I mean, he's been terrible, and he was a all-pro caliber player with the Ravens and with the Lions last year, and then he gets to Tennessee, and I know Bill Callahan's not here anymore, but everyone's saying that this guy is the offensive line Jesus, and it just didn't show itself. And you got better pieces on paper, but it's truly shocking.
So now we get to tomorrow. When Terry joins us tomorrow, the NFL trade deadline will have come and gone by about 3 minutes. So already today, Philadelphia made a deal that Parker talked about. I look at the Lions right now, and I saw warning signs yesterday that instead of continuing the progression up toward a Super Bowl, Minnesota went in there yesterday and had their way in Detroit and beat the Lions 27-24. The Lions know they had to have Aiden Hutchinson. They have paid him half of the free world to keep him there. They're missing at least one more piece in the front four, Jeffrey Simmons. But I worry that the injury that Jeffrey Simmons has right now is the excuse to hold on to him. And look, nothing against Jeffrey Simmons because he's a fine player, but you can finish last with him or you can finish last without him. If you're really rebuilding, then ship him and get the picks.
Totally 100% agree. I think that if you got a good player and he's the most recognizable name on the team other than Cam Ward, who got drafted first, that's the guy. He's played. He's been consistent. If it's me, I'm going out and I'm going to try to look to the future for my franchise. I'm going to try to see if I can get some guys or get some draft picks or whatever I can get for him and try to upgrade my team, because right now they don't have guys that can win football games in the NFL. And if Jeffrey Simmons is on my roster and he's my best player and I'm where I'm at right now, and I know that it's probably not going to get better, I'm building for the future, I'm moving him.
And think about it. His trade value is never going to get any higher, especially if he gets injured again. It would plummet dramatically. So you got to trade him. And I think the early returns with Mike Borgonzi and the way he's drafted, the early returns are he's hit on Chim Dike, Alec Aomanor, Gunnar Helm. Hopeful Cam Ward will be the franchise quarterback. So,
well, now you say Gunnar Helm, but really, what do we know at this point? I mean, their offense uses tight ends.
I like him, though.
Some sort of a disease. I do too, but we don't know anything about Gunnar Helm. He catches a ball one every other game because they've got an offense that acts like. I mean, I watch Buffalo and the way they use their tight ends, and it's so dynamic. And I look here, and it's a pile of mush.
Yeah, but you don't have Brian. You don't have Brian Callahan anymore, and he was the one that brought that. Like when I was in Indianapolis, we didn't use that much either. But you've got two guys. I even think the Okonkwo guy can. I like him. I mean, he'll give you some yards after catch too. And Gunnar Helms made a heck of a play yesterday. So that's where you implement those guys into it more, because they've shown you that they not only can catch the ball, but they can do things afterwards when they do catch it.
But they're not using them nearly enough.
Yeah, and Mike McCoy's probably not going to be here, so whoever's going to come, maybe they'll see that.
I just think of the way the Saints use Taysom Hill and think at least you can have special packages for Chig, because he may not be a great blocker, but he's a great athlete. There's got to be ways you can use him.
Well, look, he's been in the witness protection system for the last 2 years. I don't get it, don't understand it, but that's the way it is. After the break, Kelly,
yes,
I will give you my top 12 in college football. And
nice.
Now, as we're getting closer, I'm going to give you game matchups. I can see from your reaction that you breathlessly await this segment.
Breathlessly.
Actually,
I've waited all day long.
To be real honest, you look like you were falling asleep.
Sometimes I do fall asleep with some of your comments, George.
We'll come back with our top 12 in college football on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
La 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 la.
What was that? La 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 la. What in the
My
world?
bad. I didn't know we were going on.
Oh,
My fault.
That requires some payment. That's embarrassing.
Little Elton John action, man.
No, that's not what it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but we don't need
say
you
it, Parker, with your bad jokes.
La la.
I didn't know we was on. Thought we had another commercial.
I got caught one night. It was at Freedom Hall in Louisville.
Yeah.
And Vanderbilt was getting just pasted by Louisville. And we were on satellite where people on satellite could hear us. And I said something to the effect of, the only thing left to decide tonight is whether they cover the point spread or not. That wasn't one of my better broadcast moments. Okay, here we go. So we're now into November, which means this college football stuff's getting serious. So let's get right to it. And I'm going to explain exactly where I am in all of this. Okay. Clearly 1 and 2, even Helen Keller right now could figure out Ohio State and Indiana until somebody takes them down. There's absolutely no question that they are 1 and 2. Now, you're saying, where did you get Memphis at 12? That's not really what I did. What I did do was put the games together here in a minute, and I'll explain that because Memphis is not the 12th best team, but they are a group of 5, and because of that, they're probably going to get in. season stop today, they might well be your group of 5 representative. A&M continues to be unbeaten. And until somebody puts a stop to that, they're going to stay at 3. Ole Miss struggled a tad bit with South Carolina, but really didn't have a lot of trouble. And so they stay in the 4 hole. Do I believe in Georgia? Not really. But you know what? Until somebody finally puts them out of their misery, Georgia's going to stay at number 5. Florida had them. Florida had them in deep doo-doo, and it didn't happen again. How many times is Georgia going to pull that rabbit out of that hat? I don't know, but they keep doing it.
You got to cut the head off the snake if you want to beat them, or else it'll bite you.
Alabama in the 6 hole. You could argue however you want to argue, 5-6, 6-5, whatever.
Did you skip over Ole Miss at 4?
No,
I didn't hear you explain that.
No, I did not.
One.
I said Ole Miss, struggled a little bit against South Carolina, but as they, continue to win, you got to keep them up there. Are you hard of hearing?
No, I'm just confused because Georgia beat Ole Miss.
And Alabama beat Georgia.
Yeah.
So why is Ole Miss ahead of Georgia?
Do you want to do your own poll? This is my poll.
Sorry, I'm just asking a question.
I am not finished explaining things yet.
Okay.
Kelly, that's a clear violation of the Geneva Convention.
I know. I get where you're going because you're trying to match it up with what you're about to say. I get
got you. I'll pipe down over here.
So I've got Oregon at number 7. A lot of people have flip-flopped these two coming up in the 8-9 hole. But you know what? Until Texas Tech gets beat a second time, I'm keeping them at number 8, and Notre Dame can take their 2 losses and be damn glad they're number 9. BYU is undefeated. They go to Texas Tech this week. That is likely to change. Georgia Tech did not play a lick of defense. None at NC State. Why are they still in? Yeah, maybe I got a little bias. But you know what? They've only got 1 loss on the year. We're going to find out about Georgia Tech the final week of the season when they play host to Georgia. And Memphis right now in the 12 hole. So the matchups in the opening week of the playoff, if it went down like this, and probably not going to, but here goes. Georgia would play host to Memphis. Whoever ends up in the 5 hole is going to have an advantage because they're probably going to take on the group of 5. And while Memphis is a dangerous team, I think Georgia would be thrilled to only have to deal with Memphis. Alabama would play host to Georgia Tech in a rematch of 2 teams that years and years ago had a nasty SEC rivalry before you were ever born, Parker. Oregon at 7 would take on BYU. Do I think BYU's there at the end? Not really. Texas Tech, Notre Dame, go Red Raiders. Now, you have problems?
Am I allowed to speak now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So are you saying that, here's how I view it. The 1 through 4, you would have your Big Ten and SEC champ, and then whoever loses the conference championship game in the Big Ten and SEC, that would be 1 through 4. So do you think Ole Miss makes the conference championship game but loses to Texas A&M?
No, I don't think they're going to make the SEC title game. I think Alabama is.
Okay. So that is probably my big issue, is having Ole Miss at 4.
Okay. Where would you have them?
I'd have Ole Miss at 6.
Okay.
I'd have
I would switch. That's what I would do too, George. I would switch Alabama and Ole Miss.
Okay.
What I'm wondering from you guys is, we've always seen Texas A&M get to this point and slip up, but I don't think they're going to slip up. I'm not sure they're going to slip up. I think Marcel Reed is He's not a great polished passer, but he's good enough. And my goodness, can he makes that team go. He really does. He can run around. He's kind of what everybody in college wants now. And we've always been used to seeing Texas A&M screw it up at the end of the season. And I'm just not sure they are.
Well, listen closely to what they've got left. They go to Missouri this weekend. And if you want Eli Drinkwitz to get one of these jobs that's open, just let him win this one, which is about as high profile as it gets. And Eli Drinkwitz is going to be in the mix in one of these jobs that's open.
Right.
A&M then hosts South Carolina. Then they host Samford. I don't see that being the problem. But I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, Texas A&M going to Texas looks like a different deal, because it looks like somebody finally got Texas's attention. I don't know if it was the comeback at Mississippi State, but that was a much better football team Saturday than we've been used to seeing. The truth of it is, until the final 6 minutes of the game, they beat Vandy's offense and defensive lines pretty deadgum solidly.
Can you imagine if Texas A&M goes in there obviously undefeated, and Texas knows that they're probably not going to make the top 12? That's going to be nasty, and they're going to do everything in their power, and Sarkisian's going to have those guys up. It's at their place. That's going to be tough for A&M.
Because Texas still has to play. They play at Georgia in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, the 15th. So that could be a third loss for Texas.
So let me ask you all. I'm watching Georgia Saturday, and I wasn't impressed with anything about Georgia other than they found a way to win. Other than that, I just didn't see much.
That's what good teams do, though, George. I mean, I kind of agree with you. You're expecting them to get beat again, but Gunnar Stockton is it Gunnar? Yeah, Gunnar Stockton. He is. Man, those guys believe in him, and he's a tough kid. He kind of does what it takes to win games, and he doesn't mess up at the end of the games. So it's hard going into Florida, and Florida's defense is pretty good. Now, offensively, they kind of struggle, but you set off and you wonder if, are they ever going to get beat by somebody? And they have been beat this year by Alabama at their place. They stopped that big, home game winning streak that they had. But it went down to the wire even at that game at their place. But they're one of those teams we talked about the LA Dodgers. I've been in situations like that, George and Parker, where you're on a team that is known for winning and always wins, and you're on the sideline and you may be down in the last couple of minutes, and you're like, who is going to make a play at the end of this game to win this game for us? That's the belief of winners. And then you go on the other side and you have the belief of losers, like, who's going to lose this for us? Georgia, when they get in those situations, they've been in those situations. And Coach Cutcliffe has talked about how he's gone to Kirby Smart practices and how they get them mentally prepared for that. They just think when they get in those situations, they're going to win games. And most of the time they do.
They're built for it. And I think they're the most resilient team in college football. And you look at Florida's record, you see the 3-5, you think they aren't good. They're not. But the roster is still – there's a lot of talent on that roster. But the coaching, I guess what I'm trying to say is good coaching goes a long way, and Florida didn't have that.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Here's where I'm going to go. I don't see any explosion on offense.
Yeah, well, they still only lost one game, George. I agree. I mean, I know. Yeah. But they're still winning games, and that's what it's about. They may not have explosive plays, but they're still winning games, and they're still winning it in clutch time.
The field, but
that's right.
Okay, and you're right that there have been national champions who have done that. Ohio State, when Craig Krenzel was their quarterback, that's absolutely the way they did it. But we're going to be two-faced about it, because if somebody beats Georgia between now and then, everybody's going to go, see, I told you so. They're not that good. I'm starting to really struggle with Georgia and their lack of offense. That's all I'm saying.
And I get where you're coming from, but with that, they've only lost one game, and they play in the clutch situations, and just like Parker said, they're built for that. And somebody's got to beat them again, and they may not be explosive, and they may not do this and may not do that, but they're still in the running for this whole deal.
And Georgia, if they lose one more game in the regular season, whether that be to Texas or Georgia Tech, do you think a 10-2 Georgia would get in the playoff?
Yeah, I want to believe any two-loss team in the SEC is going to get in. What does that mean? Means the Tennessee Vandy game might come down to Tennessee trying to spoil Vandy's season. Good Lord. Anybody ever think we'd say that?
No.
Okay. Hour number 1 is done. When we come back, we'll discuss Auburn's decision to get rid of Freeze, as in sleaze. Did you like that?
Wow.
I thought you would. There are a lot of people out there cheering that Auburn got rid of him. We'll talk about the decision on the George Plaster Show.
Back here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. While we all enjoy the beautiful fall weather, we also know this is the time for home improvement projects before the cold winds of winter blow in. If replacing those old drafty windows is on your list, I suggest you reach out to the best in the business, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You can't beat the combination of the highest quality doors and windows in the business with expert craftsmanship from the Pella Windows installation team. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Visit PellaNashville.com for more information.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Enjoy the movie theater experience with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 install.
Family Leisure has above-ground pools ready for immediate installation.
Outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock.
Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
Antioch and Franklin.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
The return of the 40th running of the All-American 400 race weekend kicks off at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Friday, November 7th through Sunday the 9th. 6 fast-paced divisions of racing with pole qualifying Friday night and 3 big events Saturday night. Then, All-American 400 presented by Appalachian Sucker Punch on Sunday. Kids 11 and under are free. Discount tickets will be available online at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing or the box office. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, be there.
Celebrate the holidays with us at the Mint Gaming Hall. Win up to $1,000 in free play or $2,500 in cash in our hot seats and drawings, November 26th through 29th. Play with your Mint Rewards card and earn entries daily to win up to $2,500 cash. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at the Mint Gaming Hall in Kentucky Downs and Bowling Green. See themintgaming.com for details and Thanksgiving menus. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Winning just got closer.
Hey, folks, Joe Rexrode here. Listen, it's time to prepare your parking lot to withstand harsh winter conditions by using Seal Master products. Your pavement is your welcome mat. First impressions are very important. It's important to seal and protect now or face a huge paving bill later. So protect that investment. Beautify your property. Call Seal Master today for a qualified contractor. They also do pickleball courts and other recreational things. 615-255-5505 or visit sealmaster.net and tell them Joe sent you.
This week in Vanderbilt history, November 9th, 2013. History in the swamp for the Commodores as Vanderbilt wins 34-17 at Florida, the first win in Gainesville since 1945. The Commodores opened up a 17-0 lead in the first half, thanks to a field goal by Kerry Spear and touchdown runs by Jerron Seymour and Patton Robinette. Vandy scored 3 times after interceptions, including a 2-yard TD by Seymour to make it 24-3 in the third quarter. The Doors put the game away in the fourth on Seymour's third score of the day. The Vandy defense was terrific, forcing 4 turnovers and racking up 5 sacks for 59 yards. The victory was the first in 23 tries against the Gators, dating back to 1988, and the start of a 5-game win streak that would continue through the remainder of the regular season, plus a bowl game, with the VU finishing at 9-4. It was also the first time in school history to defeat Florida and Georgia in the same season. Commodores 34, Florida 17 in November of 2013. This week in Vanderbilt history, I'm Kevin Ingram.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. Going into the afternoon, high temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. Plenty of sunshine this time around, and overnight, mainly clear until the morning hours. More fog will settle in with lows that will be in the 30s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Kind of upset this segment isn't starting off with Kelly singing, but I guess we'll have to move on. Our stat of the day is brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. Yamamoto is the first pitcher to...
Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't he have a first name?
Yeah, but I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm going to butcher it. Yoshinobu. Is that right? Yoshinobu? Yamamoto?
Whatever.
Is the first pitcher to win the World Series since whom?
The World Series what?
Yeah, that is. I'm not sure about that question there.
Okay, I think he's saying World Series MVP.
Yeah,
this should come out of Ty's budget, by the way.
Does Ty have?
If we're starting a fine jar or whatever, this should be a fine on Ty's part.
So, I don't know. Did Mac? No, I was going to say Max Fried with the Braves. I don't know. You're going to have to put this.
Yeah, I don't know what the question is.
Well,
exactly.
we have a pretty good idea. Steven Strasburg, there he is. Career cut way short. Kind of tragically. A lot of arm issues. Boy, when that guy was right, he was a stud.
How long did he play, George?
Do what?
How long did he play?
Not long enough.
Right.
Not long enough. We welcome all of you officially into the 4:00 hour from our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. I'm told that the radio audience has joined us, and so we welcome all of you listening on 94.9 and up in the Clarksville area as well. Let's start with the business down at Auburn. On one hand, I kind of thought with all of the other firings that have already happened that Auburn might say, you know what, this isn't a good year to be doing this. But it was so bad Saturday night. If you watched it, you know how bad it was. They could have played till 2 a.m. They weren't going to score. And I think ultimately, Kelly, that's the question. Why in the third year of the Hugh Freeze era were they that god-awful on offense?
George, I can't answer that question. Something just seems amiss with him. I don't know what it is. I've talked about this. He was at Ole Miss, and obviously he got let go there with some issues, but I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. I think it's like a Jimbo Fisher deal. I feel like he lost the locker room as well. I don't know if the guy that he got the guy that he wanted as quarterback with the Jackson Arnold kid, but like to me, it doesn't look like that he ever solved that problem. Like the kid, does he look like a leader to you, Parker, the Jackson Arnold kid? Like I know he's a good athlete, but I mean, can he make the plays necessary to be made, or is he one of these kids? To me, he's one of these young men that doesn't really understand the game, and he tries to use his athleticism to get himself out of stuff, and he runs himself into stuff. And I think if big time college football now, if you don't have a guy behind center or in the shotgun that is your quarterback and he can't make plays, you're behind the eight ball. You don't have the Diego Pavias of the world or the Julian Sayans of the world or these guys. If you don't have that guy, you are, and it this has happened since the beginning of time, George. But if you don't have the quarterback, even when I played, guys on defense don't believe you. They don't believe in you, and they know that, hey, we can do what we can do on defense, but if we can't score and we don't have the guy behind the center that we believe in, we're not going to win any games. We can be as good as we want on defense, which I think Auburn is really good on defense, and I think they're really talented. As their record is just, Bill Parcells says you are what your record says you are, and they're really bad, but I don't think they should be this bad, and it all falls on the head coach. And for some reason, something is amiss with what's going on with Hugh Freeze, to me.
I think there's one thing that led to his downfall at Auburn, and that is the fact that he was never able to get quarterback right. He had Peyton Thorne his first 2 years. That didn't work. And then you take a risk going into the portal. You get Jackson Arnold, which was a huge risk, and hindsight proves that wasn't the right move. And you can make a case for Auburn that they should maybe have 1 to 2 more wins because of officiating purposes. But other than that, I've never called a play in my life. But when you have, and Kelly, I want your thoughts on this, but when you have Jackson Arnold literally doing an RPO and he is reading to his left, then coming back and throwing to his right, what sense does it make to turn your back to the guy that you're throwing to? And it resulted in a pick 6 in the Arkansas game. So it's things like that just snowballed and eventually led to Hugh Freeze getting fired at Auburn.
Well, I think that's what's happening to a lot of these young men nowadays. They're relying on these young men they're bringing in as quarterback that are really athletic, and they're not teaching them the proper way to play the position. And I've talked about that with Coach Cutcliffe, and that's a pet peeve of mine. They just say, well, hey, go make a play, go run around and find somebody else. That's not how you do this thing. And you look at what happened now at Oklahoma, which, John Mateer's an okay player. I don't think he's a great player, but I think he's tough as nails, and I think the guys buy into him. I think he's finally healthy now. But they traded the quarterback for another quarterback, and you see what Oklahoma's a lot better. And now Jackson Arnold goes to Auburn, and Auburn gets their coach fired. So he just is not – he's supposed to be this quarterback guru guy, this guy that had the kid from Pulaski, I forget his name, that went to Ole Miss. You remember that, George?
Bo
I don't know
Wallace?
his name.
Bo Wallace.
Bo Wallace, correct. He had Bo Wallace, and that's kind of how he made his name at Ole Miss. And now he just struggles with that, and it permeates through the locker room. And when you don't have a quarterback right now and you don't believe in that quarterback, it's always happened like this. You don't believe, and his team didn't believe in him anymore.
There are too many instances of players who have played for this guy that don't think very highly of him. That's one thing that has become kind of a common denominator, is if you talk to people that played for him, they don't have very good things to say about him. Now, Auburn is open, and everybody is going to say, well, they've got to take a back seat to LSU and to Florida. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think Nick Saban's long run at Alabama devalued the Auburn job a little bit. You can win a national title at Auburn. They've done it. So, Kelly, here's what I want to know. The coaches that are out there that are thinking about, now's my time, what do they think of Auburn?
That's another good question, George. It's an SEC job, and you can win in that. Gene Chizik, who I was with at Middle Tennessee, won a national championship, obviously, with Cam Newton there. He had the guy that was the gunslinger behind, and he won a national championship there. You can win there. Can you out-recruit the University of Alabama? Because I think Kalen DeBoer is really good, and can you do that? And I think now with Nick Saban gone, I think you're probably on a little bit more firmer level ground than you were. But
the guy that did do it was the late Pat Dye.
Absolutely, he did, and he did it when Bear Bryant was there. So man, I think you can. I think you can win there. I think they're yearning to win. I think they're so sick of the Alabama deal. It's going to be interesting to see who they get, but I think that's a coveted job, George. I really do. Not only it's in a state where there's no pro team, but it's in the SEC, and I think you got to get somebody that's competitive enough to want to face Alabama and beat them up, not only on the field but in recruiting battles. And I personally, I think that's, man. I'm not saying that it's. I think it's maybe not on the level of the LSU Florida job, but it ain't very far behind now.
And they have high caliber athletes. Like they easily could have won this year. I mean, they were ranked towards the beginning of the season after beating Baylor. You have a 5-star wide receiver in Cam Coleman. You went and you got the number 1 receiver in the transfer portal and Eric Singleton. They have monsters all over their defense. Their offensive line is solid, but you didn't get quarterback right. So that leads to all of this mess.
George, what are they saying? Who is in it? Is it all the same candidates? Because here's what I'm going to tell you, and even Lane Kiffin said this weeks ago when Ole Miss played the Tulane University. The guy that was Jameson's coach at Troy, John Summerall, I would not be shocked if the University of Auburn University, does not go out and hire that dude because he's from Huntsville. He coached at Troy. He won 2 Sun Belt championships there. He's done really well at Tulane. He hadn't got those guys. He hadn't got those guys in the group of 5 in the top 12 yet, but that guy can coach football, and I would not be surprised or shocked if he got that Auburn job because it's in his home state.
Do you also, if you're Auburn, poke out at James Franklin, who appears to be a leader in the clubhouse at Virginia Tech, but there's also, even though his stock's not very high right now, there's a lot of sentiment in Blacksburg for Shane Beamer to just bring a Beamer back into it. If you're Auburn, should Franklin be on the list?
100%. Absolutely, you should. But here's what I'm thinking, though. Like, we talk about national championships, and can you win it all at Virginia Tech? I mean, I think, haven't they won it once? Did they win it once?
They got to the finals. They got beat by Florida State in the Sugar Bowl when Michael Vick was there.
You're right. So, if you're James Franklin, you've kind of been there, done that. You've won a lot of games. We all know what happened at Penn State. We all know that you struggle with Ohio State. You struggle with Michigan ever since you were there. But, I'm sure he's won a lot of games. I really love what he did on game day. He stepped up to the plate and he answered all those questions. But can you win it all at Virginia Tech? Auburn's already done it. I would be on. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm Auburn, I'm going after him 100%.
John Summerall, that's the guy. That's the guy. I want a guy that just coaches football, doesn't care about anything else. I think he gets the job done.
Well, now that Parker has spoken, we can wrap this up.
You can stamp it. We can move on. I've spoken.
Well, excuse me. Gosh. Wow. Okay, let's get to Tennessee and Vandy. Not great weekends for either one. Let's start with Vandy. For 3 quarters, Texas just beat them up at the line of scrimmage. And then all of a sudden, Pavia caught fire, and they're an onside kick away from this getting really hairy. So if you're Vandy, do you take more out of the problems of offensive and defensive lines, or more out of the, but, at the end it got hairy?
I text you, Darren, because I was not able to watch the game. I was watching my son. But I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. But after watching the replay and watching all that stuff, they missed a lot of tackles on defense.
Their tackling was horrendous.
It was horrendous. And that first pass play, it was a simple swing route. And it was one of those screens. And I mean, I think he missed. I think there were 3 tackles missed. So I'm sure they got kind of manhandled. But even with that being said, watching all that stuff, George, I think it was 24-10 at halftime. You just got to be able to, and Pavia turned the ball over once, which normally doesn't happen. And when we all know when you turn balls over, that's a recipe for disaster. Just one turnover when you're playing at Texas can be very harmful to you, and I think it was, but you got to give it to Vanderbilt. They came back. I think they were probably overmatched up front both sides, but with that being said, they almost got that onside kick. And if they get that onside kick, man, with what Pavia was doing in the fourth quarter, man, they've been in both games, the games that they lost, the Alabama game and the Texas game, and they were that play away of getting the ball back. I just think that they've got to clean some things up. And defensively, when you're playing teams that have speed like that, you have to be you have to be able to make tackles. And on the defensive side of the ball, that was the thing that stuck out with me in that game. They did not make tackles, and a couple of mistakes here and there on offense kind of lost that game for them.
Vandy now has Auburn here Saturday, a bye week, then Kentucky here on to Knoxville for the regular season finale. The goal ought to be that they force that to be the do or die game for whether they can get in. Now, who knows what happens between now and then, but a 2-loss SEC team ought to have a pretty good shot to get in. Now to Tennessee, which lost to Oklahoma Saturday. I thought this was a bad game for Joey Aguilar to suddenly not value the possession. He threw a couple of interceptions that are horrible. What was he thinking?
Man, that was I watched that, and he did throw some tough ones, but Oklahoma's defense is an elite defense. I really think they're really good. They can pressure you. They sack them quite a bit. When you start getting people around a quarterback, and when you start sacking him, when you start knocking balls down, when you start hitting him right after he's released the ball, that does something to you. When you know that your offensive line is struggling kind of protecting, and you know that there's guys around you, that's what makes pros in college so much different, because you have to be able to handle that stuff, and it makes a quarterback play differently. And I think those interceptions, they were 2 bad interceptions. The one where he overthrew the guy really bad. I've always taught my son, and Parker knows this, but if you're throwing a seam, you cannot put air on a seam ball. If you do, it's going to get picked off. You have to drive it right when he goes past the linebacker's ear or the underneath coverage's ear. You have to throw it, whether it's complete or not. You can't put any air on that ball, and he did. The other interceptions that he threw, Kirk Herbstreit even talked about it. He forgot where the safety was, and if you're running a route like that with the guy outside with his number one receiver, you've got to keep that thing up. You got to keep it straight. When you start bowling to the middle of the field and the quarterback throws it up like that, it's going to get picked off. So you're right, George. I thought he put him in some precarious situations. I just thought Oklahoma's defense was, they haven't beat anybody that's ranked so far this year. So I thought that was a tough game for him, and it kind of showed that, hey, he's got to get better in the pocket. He's got to get better at reading the defenses, and you can't, some of the things that he did at App State that we talked about at the beginning of the year before the year started about him turning the ball over kind of it rose its nasty head the other day in the game, and you can't do that in a game that's on prime time against a big SEC foe, and you're still trying to make it to the playoffs. Can't make those mistakes.
I interrupt this programming to announce that the Atlanta Braves are hiring a manager, not a general manager.
Danny Lehman.
Walt Weiss.
What?
According to Jeff Passan.
Oh my God.
George, are you upset?
Uh-oh.
No, not really. I'm
on
surprised. I thought it would be Danny Lehman. Then if they're hiring Walt Weiss, Why did they wait? By the way, the news with the Braves today is not all that good. Ha-Seong Kim turned them down and said, I'm going free agent. They should have gotten him signed before he had that opportunity to do that. Walt Weiss. Wow, I did not expect that.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
When he first reacted, I thought it was 2 thumbs down.
I did too.
No, he's an Atlanta Brave. I get behind Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
We don't need any Dodger.
I thought we were about to have a freak out.
No, we don't
on
need
the air.
any Dodger assistants. Screw the Dodgers. They're the enemy. Do you have any other bulletins?
No, I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I gotta announce this live on the air for George. Yep.
Passing. Interesting.
All right, we got a thumbs up. We got a thumbs up.
If that's who they're hiring, they didn't have to wait till after the World Series. What took them so long?
Trying to make his mind up.
No.
Anthopoulos. Come on, George.
God. He's had a month, for God's sakes. Get on with it.
Maybe. There's a lot of contract negotiations we got to go through here.
No.
It don't just happen overnight, George.
No, please. Stop it, Kelly.
Kelly is messing with you right now.
I know he is. Okay. So I guess at this point, we'll go to the break. And Kelly, guess what we're going to be looking for after the break?
I'm sure some red-blooded Americans. Is that
You're
it?
darn tootin' we are.
What did he say the first time? He said something like, I don't know. It wasn't red-blooded Americans the first time Kelly tried to guess.
No, I don't know.
At this point, you need to shut up.
Warm-blooded? I know he said warm-blooded. That's what it was. Well,
Go get back in the mirror, fix your hair, and shut your mouth.
Hey, I need you to start singing again, Kelly. All right, so we can go to break.
Okay, phone lines are available for red-blooded Americans, and I want to hear from 4 of you out there that have things you want to talk about. 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Walt Weiss. I did not expect that.
Walt Weiss.
Go Braves.
Yes. Yeah, you don't mean it. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away. at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. And Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, the Braves have made it official. I see the press release that they have put out. Walt Weiss is their new manager, which is interesting because at no point did I really hear him all that loudly. Danny Lehman with the Dodgers, I think, was who everybody thought that they were going with in the last week and a half, but instead it is Walt Weiss, and it's now official.
Congratulations, George.
We'll see.
Well, I saw that his record with the Rockies was not great. It was below 500.
Okay, and God's
He's with the
record
Rockies.
Rockies have been any good. I mean, what does that?
I mean, he's with the
what does that
Rockies.
tell you? What, Kelly? What kind of comment was that?
I mean, that's one of them off-the-wall comments from an off-the-wall guy.
Wow.
I mean, good gracious.
Would you like to take that one back?
Sure. I want the Braves to do well, so I'll take it back.
I can tell you do.
I have George. I have trouble with the Braves just because I got to go through their city every week, and it's unbelievably ridiculous.
Quit your crying. You'll be fine.
Shut up, Parker. I've already told you that.
I've got two lines open.
Let's
It's
go,
a little
red-blooded
quiet out
Americans.
there. Let's go, red-blooded Americans. 615-759-9949. You get in now, we'll get to you. Here's living proof. Eric on line one. Welcome to the show.
Did all the stuff you're doing had anything to do with the time change this weekend?
I'll say this. I appreciated the extra hour.
Me too.
Yeah. I think everybody did, George. And I tell you, I'm like you. I certainly, even though people would call me a communist, I can't root for the Dodgers. I wanted Toronto to win so bad, but it is what it is. So I'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
George, there are three things I want to talk about. I'm actually going to get to the college football last with Vandy in Tennessee, but on the Titans, Georgia's lost yesterday, and you probably may or may already have known this. I saw this thing late last night. With this loss, the Titans now have lost 8 straight games at home, which is currently the longest losing streak in the NFL, and we still have 5 home games left. I'm just hoping I'll see a victory before the end of the season. I was at the game yesterday and got to sit in the club level section because I have season tickets. I use my normal place I sit at to get in, and then a friend of mine had his phone and he scanned it, and I went and sat in the club level. Really thoroughly enjoyed that very much. But as far as the game,
tell me this: what would you say the crowd was yesterday?
If I had to guess, it was probably somewhere, and I could be wrong, George. I think it was somewhere between about 40 and 50,000. There was a lot of empty seats, especially in the club level section. Even on the lower bowl, there were a lot of Chargers fans, which you wouldn't expect that since they came from San Diego, not LA Chargers, because in LA they generally don't care about football. But there was definitely a lot of Chargers fans at like the lower level and in the end zone and stuff, which that surprised me a little bit. It may have been the same amount of numbers, but it was just hard to say. But I will say this, guys, as far as the game yesterday, the two things that disappointed me about the Titans, and those two particular drives, one where I think we'd gotten deep in the Chargers territory, but then after that, I think we were called for a false start. Then very next play, I believe we got a holding call, and then I think a couple plays later, Cam got sacked where we had driven deep in the Chargers territory. We wound up getting backed up. But the other one was, of course, when we went down and got stopped at the goal line, 4th down and 1. And I was surprised they just ran that straight up the middle and got stopped at the goal line. I thought And I got fooled. I thought Cam had the ball and go run out and get the touchdown. And I was wondering why we didn't do that instead of just going straight up the middle. And then I was telling the guy next to me, you know what? And the Chargers on the 1 yard line, it would not surprise me. I bet you the Chargers are going to go straight down the field and get a touchdown. And that's exactly what happened.
99
yards. And it was the quarterback rolling out, Justin Herbert rolling out, and he got the touchdown. And that pretty much was a ball game because that was a huge swing where we got stuffed, and then they get the touchdown up by 10. We did get the field goal to make it 3. I mean, make it within a touchdown. But it's frustrating, George, when you're putting so much pressure on your defense and offense can't do anything. We're only in the game because we got an interception early in the game by Cody Barton for the touchdown, which that was the first time that's happened this year. And then the kick return for a touchdown, but nothing from the offense. That is just so frustrating when your offense just can't do anything. You put way too much pressure on the defense. But now I'll get to college football right quick because I know you want to get some other callers. As far as Vandy, George, I think another thing that was huge too is the fact that I think they said going into that game against Texas Saturday, the offensive line had given up a total of 7 sacks, and Pavia got sacked 6 times.
Yeah, they got beat around pretty good.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt's defense wasn't able to get any sacks. And Arch Manning, who was in concussion program, he stepped up and had his best game of the year. And Pavia certainly stepped up big time with that big-time comeback. But, George, I'm kind of not surprised. I didn't think they would get dominated like they did, but I had a feeling they could lose to Texas because Vanderbilt was playing great, and I just figured the law of averages finally would catch up with them. In my opinion, they should beat Auburn next week, and then they should beat Kentucky in a couple of weeks. The big game is going to be Tennessee, and who would have thought this? Tennessee could be playing spoiler for Vanderbilt not to make the college football playoffs. And as far as UT goes, George, here's the thing and you've probably heard this on social media. There was actually a lot of social media things going around where they're saying fire hyper. And I'm saying, you have got to be kidding me that that's been put out there. What was this team predicted to be before the season, especially after Nico Amaliava left? A lot of Vols fans said they would have been happy this team was 7-5 or 8-4. They're now shot at 9-3, and they still got that goal in front of them. I heard a few 6-6s, but they thought this team, when Amaliava left, and also all the stuff that happened on the defense where a lot of the defense front was gone, they thought this team was maybe 7-5, 8-4, with an outside shot at 9-3, and most Tennessee fans would have taken that. And now they're talking about they wanted to fire him, but I guess the expectations got raised with the way they're playing. And they're a good football team, but they're not a great team. And you're right. They, to this point, have not beaten a ranked team. And on the team left on the schedule, they've got the shot to beat that's ranked, of course, is Vandy. But it just depends on how it plays out the rest of the season. And I think Vanderbilt still has a shot because I don't think like Oklahoma with their schedule in Texas, I still think they could get knocked off because Texas, I believe, has to play Georgia and Texas A&M. I know Oklahoma still has to go to Alabama. So Vanderbilt still has some hope. But I think right now with the way it is, they would probably be, I think, about 7th because, I guess it's Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Alabama in front of them. And now Oklahoma and Texas are both in front of them. They're probably 7th, but I still think Vanderbilt could jump back up there. George, I'll get off, get some other callers. You take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Why is Josh Heupel catching this much crap?
Stupid.
Yeah. It very much so. And Eric had a really good point because when Nico left, everybody was like throwing their hands up. Who are we going to get? And he's right. They would have. Everybody was like, if we go 8-4, 7-5, it's going to be a great year. But expectations, man, and I don't know. I just I don't know. The pressure's always there, man. I mean, that's what you want as a college football coach. You want to be in the pressure and you want to be an opportunity to be in the top 12. And when you're not, everybody's frustrated and they expect so much. But fans it's gotten out of control, George, about fans. I mean, I talked about instant coffee generation and how everybody wants Cam Ward to come in here and be successful right off the bat. And it doesn't happen like that a lot of times as a quarterback and as a coach. You have to be able to implement your system, and he's obviously been there long enough. But, hey, some years, I mean, this stuff is competitive now. You got guys, free agency going all over the place. You got to pay these young men. It's going to be different each and every year now, and I think he's done, and all these guys are doing a really good job. I would not want to be a NCAA Division I football coach right now because of all the pressures and all the other stuff you have to do outside of coaching. It's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, all these fans were saying, "Oh, Tennessee deserves a grace year. They deserve a pass." And you have Nico pulled from you in the spring, and then you go out and you get what's left over in Joey Aguilar, a turnover-prone quarterback from the group of 5, and they look so good to start out the season that everyone starts raising their expectations. But then when they fall back down to where they were in the preseason, everyone starts freaking out. It is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling.
Let's go, Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's shaking?
Well, I'll tell you what's up, George, and Kelly and Parker. Good talking to y'all also. I think Freeze went to the AD and said, "We've got Vanderbilt on the schedule next week. I don't want to be beat by that Pavia guy. I don't want to go in a 4-peat, so go ahead and just fire my ass now and just get rid of me." Because that's
probably true.
What I hope happens. Guys, can you think of this about Auburn? Think about this. There's 3 teams in the country. I don't know if y'all have seen this. 3 teams in the country their defense has not allowed 24 points in a game yet. Have y'all seen that?
No, but you're telling us Auburn's one of them.
Auburn is one of them. One of the 3. The other 2 is Ohio State and Indiana.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, when you got a defense like that, go ahead, George.
I got a chance to watch Indiana because I'm like everybody. Are they really this good? And you know what? The answer is yes. They play at Penn State
I watched them too,
Saturday.
I thought they looked damn good.
Oh.
They look solid in every phase of the game, Kelly. They really did. So
they're good. They get after you.
They get after you, and when they get you down, they're like old Steve Spurrier back years ago. They're gonna keep scoring. It's up to you to stop them. They're not gonna call the dogs off.
Google me, I win. I love that comment. Exactly. Google me, I win.
In the Vanderbilt game, guys, when we got behind 17-0 right there in the first quarter, you're chasing the game for the rest of the, chasing points and chasing the game. Kelly, you touched on it, the missed tackles. Last week against Missouri, I counted a lot of missed tackles and had said, I hope it's in the carryover. I counted 17 missed tackles in the first quarter. 17. It was horrible. And so you got a defense like that, and then our offense is getting whipped up front. And I got to say this, I think we got out-coached on the offensive side bad because they continued to know where to hit us, as us offensively. But when they were when they were offensively having the ball, they were able to, and y'all can see this, every play was designed to be on the perimeter. Nothing was going up the middle. And they were going to make our defensive backs play Saturday. And that was all the things I kept seeing. And I said, this is going to get out of hand. But think of this, guys. In the fourth quarter, Pavia had them on their heels. Vanderbilt offense had come to play, and they had them on their heels. Had he pulled that out, and we had recovered that onside kick, which we had 3 guys who had their hands on it, had we recovered that, think what the hype and the talk would even be about him today. That would have been,
right.
I mean, that's all, water cooler talk, what ifs, but that would have been unbelievable. And the last thing I'm going to say is, 2 things. If you didn't see it, TSU sadly only had 1,006 fans at their game the other day. 1,006 fans. Mike Organ wrote that in the newspaper. Sad. And as far as coaches at Auburn, Kelly, you touched on exactly. I had a friend of mine call me last night, friend with the Auburn chapter and everything here, graduate of Auburn. Who do you think? I said, George and Kelly and Parker. I said, I think they ought to go to Memphis or they ought to go to Tulane. I think one of those coaches are going to land possibly in the SEC. So it's going to be something. And who knows? They might go after Dabo. Y'all think Dabo would come to the SEC after playing and being gone so many years ago?
He seems a little frustrated.
But I just wanted to call and give my reaction Monday thoughts.
Oh, I love it. Thank
guys.
you. Kelly, have you ever heard of the betting term backdoor cover?
I have heard of it, yes.
Okay.
Congratulations.
For those who had Vandy plus 3.5, because once it got out that that Arch Manning was, no longer concussed, the line went up a little bit. If you got it at 3.5, the touchdown at the end won for you in one of the miraculous backdoor covers. If you had Vandy plus 3, a push has never been so sweet. Those of you who had it, congratulations.
George is always he loves that little betting angle that he's a big guy. Betting guy.
Cover. Backdoor
cover. I like it.
We'll go to the break. I'm disappointed that we got no calls at the moment. Where are you all? Come on, let's go.
Man. Time change. I was up at 5:30 this morning ready to go. Let's go.
615-759-9949. You hit the phones now, we'll get to you in a hurley. Not Danny Hurley.
Hurley?
We'll get to you in a big old Danny Hurley on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
On the EN app. As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
I bet that CBS did an absolute monster number on Buffalo KC yesterday. from up in Orchard Park where the Bills play. Were you all surprised at how dominant Buffalo was and that Kansas City's offense really didn't get much done?
No, not in Buffalo. And the Bills had my former team, obviously, but had a 2-game stretch where they weren't very good. They weren't very good defensively. They were able to get some pressure on Patrick Mahomes, although I get so irritated when it's 4th and 16. And when you give that guy time, it doesn't matter if there's 8 or 9 guys back and you drop all those guys back. If you give him that much time, he's going to find it. So I was a little upset about that, but I thought that offensively, the new thing about the Buffalo's offense, this is what makes me so excited and gets me so optimistic that they might have a shot at it, is James Cook.
Yes.
Like he can, he's kind of the X factor. They've already done it with Josh Allen. We all know what Josh Allen can do, and he can make guys better, and he can make unbelievable plays. He runs the ball, which I'm not a fan of, but the dude, he looks like he's about 250. So guys it's like the Ben Roethlisberger effect or the Drew Bledsoe effect when guys just bounced off him because he's so big. But I think James Cook is the difference in that team, and if they win a Super Bowl and they're able to get there, I think he's going to be the key factor of that. They're probably going to have to play the Kansas City Chiefs again at some point because they're not going away. They are not going away. They still got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. They've got the Rashid guy. They got the running backs. They've got it all. They've got an up front that are really good. They're going to be there at the end. And you just have to understand that, and Buffalo's got to understand that. And I would rather them play at Buffalo instead of Kansas City, though. That's where the Buffalo Bills have got like you can't get beat by the New England Patriots, who are better with Mike Vrabel. There's no question. But at home, you can't get beat by the New England Patriots. So now that's going to make that matchup when they go to Foxborough so huge for that division because New England's leading the division right now. And if they don't have home field advantage, I still don't like their chances against the Kansas City Chiefs.
But they will have it if they play Kansas City again. They're going to have home field.
I hope so.
What's KC? 4-4
5
right
and 4.
now. 5-4.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
Yeah, so the Bills have won their last 4 matchups at home against the Chiefs, I think is the stat. But I completely forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
I don't think they've won in Kansas City, though.
No. They're 1-4. No, they're 0-4 in the postseason against Kansas City, but
and
one loss in the regular season.
Yeah, there's still a lot of games to be played, George, and the Kansas City Chiefs could go on a streak. The Denver Broncos, which nobody thought that was going to happen.
Oh, my God.
They've won like 5 in a row, I think, but then nobody thought that was going to happen. They're going to go into some losing.
Kids.
Yeah, they're going to go into some losing here. They may not. I don't know. But like the Kansas City Chiefs can run a stretch here that they can still be up there at the upper echelon of the AFC.
Never count out Mahomes. Never count out Mahomes.
No. Charlie on line 3, you are up. Welcome.
Hey, George, I just wanted to thank you for my call, first of all. I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan all my life, and I can't understand how we lost the plot with all of this, man. I mean, we come in, and everybody's saying 8-9 wins is a good season for Heupel. You lose Nico, and you lose the defense, and you got the new offensive line. And I can't understand how we go from that, and then all of a sudden everybody's saying fire Heupel, and I don't get it, man. I mean, to me, I think he's done a good job with this program, but at the end of the day, I don't understand how we go from saying that we need to rebuild this year and it's a rebuild year, that we're waiting for this freshman class, to all of a sudden everybody wants to run the man out of town. And it feels like we've forgotten where this Tennessee program was just 4 or 5 years ago before they got here. So I just wanted to hear y'all's thoughts on that. First time caller, but really enjoy the show. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you. No, I think we're right there with you. Look, it's a different deal these days. The old, Tennessee by way of running game and defense, this team doesn't do either one particularly well. They don't run the ball a lick, and some of that is because they don't try to run it a whole heck of a lot, and they're not very creative in the running game. It's all up the middle. 80% of it's up the middle.
Right.
So there's not a lot of scheming in their running game. Their defense is not very good. I think given those thoughts, he's getting about as much out of it as he probably can.
I think so too. But here's what I think about it, George. Like, he is everybody thinks he's a run and gun, throw it around the park. I think he's a run game guy. And if the run game's not working, then they struggle offensively. When they can't run the ball, they struggle. They struggled in the RPO game. And when you get them in a certain passing situations and guys pin back their ears, which Oklahoma did the other day, I think they're in trouble. Now, defensively, I said this a couple of weeks ago with Tony Basilio. I'm going to ask y'all, don't y'all think he probably maybe need to make a change at the defensive coordinator? If he's going to get over the hump and he's going to do what the Tennessee fans want him to do, don't you think he has to seriously take a look at that in the offseason and say, this may be what needs to happen?
I don't disagree with that. I absolutely think, because the defense the last couple of years has not been to the standard that they would hope. Last year was probably the best defense they've had under Heupel, and it's taken a significant step back. I understand that a lot was lost to the NFL draft, but you bring up a great point, Kelly, about the offense. It seems like when you watch Tennessee, you don't really know what they do schematically. You think it's, we're popping a 50-yard pass to Jalen Hyatt, we're popping a 50-yard pass to Chris Brazzell, but that opens up because of the run. And Josh Heupel loves to run the football. He's always done that, no matter where he's been.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but hold on a minute. What level of creativity is their running game?
But when you spread guys out, George,
it's right here.
I understand that, George, but when you spread guys out and you have a 5-man box, you've got numbers in the box. So it does not matter whether you go up the middle or outside. It does not matter. You've got numbers. Normally, that's where he's successful, but he has not. When he struggles with that, their offense struggles.
That's why they have the wide splits, to widen everything out so that they can run the football. And then all the deep shots come off of play action.
Correct.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. They don't look like they spend a lot of time on their running game, because they don't move people.
Well,
Oklahoma's really good on defense. They didn't move Oklahoma.
Yeah, but that's not really a schematic thing. That's a personnel deal right there, where you got to get better players, or you got to get in the weight room. And I think Oklahoma is one of the more elite defenses in the country. I really do.
Agreed.
Yep.
And I think Tennessee found that out the other night. And that's what Josh Heupel, since he's been in college football and since he's been a coach and a head coach and a coordinator, he wants to spread you out, but he wants to run the football. And when you run the football, then you have to start bringing guys into the box, and you have to get 6 guys where you're outnumbered. Now you have to run RPOs, or now you've got an advantage outside. And when he can't run the football, he's behind the 8 ball in his offense.
When Tennessee did not take advantage when they were up 7-0 of getting a double-digit lead, that's where the game went south. That turnover, because Tennessee's going in either for a field goal or a touchdown, and instead Oklahoma ties it at 7, and you knew then, this doesn't look good.
Well, last year they went down to Oklahoma, and Tennessee totally dominated that football game. And that's back. You're right, George, because that's back in the players' minds that were on that team last year. And they're like, if they score here, guys, and when they go up 14-0 on us, we could be in trouble. And we don't want this to get like it was last year. Now, I don't know if that would have happened, because I think they've got a different caliber quarterback now who kind of brings a mental toughness to that side of the football. But that would have put some doubt in those guys' minds. And they would be like, oh, this is the same thing as last year. And the game could have been a lot different. But when you turn the ball over and you allow a team to hang around, because, hey, they weren't killing it on offense either. Oklahoma was not. And Tennessee was getting some pressure on John Mateer, and they were sacking him a couple of times. They weren't really, but they kept hanging around and kept hanging around. And then that young kid, they kicked those field goals. Ooh. He was just as important as anybody on that field the other night.
Yeah, the kid wearing a thong, their kicker wearing a thong. Yeah, that guy.
I didn't know that, Parker. I didn't go that far.
Those are shorts. Very short.
Yeah.
Very short.
Very short.
Okay. Want to do this before we get to making you money tonight. And Kelly, I intend to make money.
Okay.
I want to welcome a brand new sponsor to the show. It's the Dr. Gill Center for back, neck, and chronic pain relief. The word pain is central to what they're all about. Everybody experiences it. But you know what? Pain can be gotten rid of by more than just going under the knife. And that's what the Dr. Gill Center is all about. I went and visited a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to call them gizmos, but man, they have got the equipment to help you in that process of getting rid of that pain. It doesn't have to happen through surgery. Try them out. Give them a holler. Go by and see them. Let me give you the number. It's 615-882-4838. Kelly, I did tell them not to help you.
And Parker, just know this: when George went into the office, they told him, "Please don't take your shirt off."
Oh, you're so witty, aren't you?
Oh,
That was
yes.
good. That was good, Kelly. That was good.
Whatever. You know, I was
Turn the lights
rooting
out.
for Buffalo until that, because I want to see the Bills knock the door down.
I do too.
I
Me
think
too.
that city would have the parade of all parades.
I would join them. I'd jump through a table with them. I'm not even a Bills fan.
We're not asking you to
Wow.
do that.
Okay. I would do it live on the air while
We're
we're
asking
broadcasting.
you to keep the show in the middle of the road. Kelly, what are you
Give us-
asking him to do?
We don't need to know Kelly's
Get
opinion.
to the end of the show, Parker. It's that time. Let's go. Figure it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Plaster's Bet of the Day brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. I'm going to have fun recapping what happened over the weekend. 3-6, and then I guess this
No,
is
it
a tie?
isn't. No.
Vandy +3?
Hold on a second. Wasn't he 3-6?
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Oh,
I can't do
yeah.
math on the air.
Maybe we need to rethink the math a little.
4-3.
3, 4, and
there
1.
we go. That I don't get
4,
paid to
3,
do
and
math
1.
on the air.
4-3 and 1,
okay,
George.
don't come out and act like I got ripped.
Yeah, he did. He really sensationalized that.
Yeah. My
Parker,
record
do your
sucked.
job.
Overall record of 71, 78, and 4.
Yeah, same to you.
Looking to get to 72 with the bet tonight.
Wow.
Who's Arizona
You
starting
just
at quarterback?
kinda-
Do we even know?
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, that's
Jacoby
right.
Brissett.
And
Jacoby
by the
Brissett.
way, there are people that think Arizona's offense runs better with him than old Kyler Murray.
Well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, but
Well,
I
no,
know
you're supposed to
things.
have an opinion.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
I
That's
know,
what you're.
but I
here
know I
for.
know things.
Oh,
That's all I'm going to say is I know things.
Is that an off-air
Wow.
conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
okay. Well,
Sorry, George.
that's okay. I'm taking the Cowboys tonight. Why? Certainly not their defense. Nothing about their defense gets it done. But on the offensive side, they have been really good. And Dak Prescott, quietly or not quietly, is having a monster season. He
MVP
plays
year.
like that, huh?
Yeah, MVP like year.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, baby. He's been playing well, very well.
Parker, you take the Cowboys tonight. You'll win some money.
I am taking the Cowboys tonight.
Tomorrow, Tony Basilio and David Cutcliffe. Super Tuesday on the show. See you then. Go Cowpokes.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. Going into the afternoon, high temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. Plenty of sunshine this time around and overnight.